Imagine the desert of Arizona stretching endlessly in every direction, dry and silent, with only rocks, sand, and scattered shrubs breaking the horizon. At night, the darkness feels deeper there than in a city. There are no bright buildings, no heavy traffic sounds, just wind moving softly across the land. In the 1950s, near the small town of Gila Bend, something unusual was said to be happening in that quiet space. A radio tower, standing alone in the desert, became connected to strange signals that people could not explain. It looked like a normal communication structure during the day, but when night fell, it became part of a mystery that no one fully solved. People who lived nearby began noticing strange interruptions on their radios. Late at night, when most stations were quiet, a signal would suddenly appear. At first, it sounded like regular static, the kind of noise you hear when a station is not tuned correctly. But then, hidden inside the static, there were patterns. Some listeners described hearing repeated tones, almost like a coded rhythm. Others claimed there were faint voices, unclear and distant, as if coming from very far away. The broadcasts did not follow a schedule. They did not announce themselves. They simply appeared and then vanished without warning, leaving listeners confused and sometimes uneasy. What made the situation more mysterious was the location. Gila Bend is surrounded by wide-open desert far from major cities. That kind of isolated area would have been ideal for experiments, because signals could travel without much interference. During the 1950s, technology was changing quickly. Governments were developing new communication systems, especially during the tense years of the Cold War. Because of that, some people believed the tower might have been part of a secret project. However, no clear public records ever confirmed the purpose of the strange broadcasts. There was no official explanation that matched the exact details reported by listeners. Radio experts and curious hobbyists tried to investigate. They adjusted antennas, changed frequencies, and attempted to trace the direction of the signal. In theory, radio waves should follow patterns that can be measured. But in this case, the source seemed difficult to pinpoint. The signal sometimes felt strong, then suddenly weak. It did not behave like normal station interference. This unpredictability added to the sense that something unusual was happening. Without modern tracking tools, people in that era had limited ways to investigate, which allowed the mystery to grow over time. As rumors spread, different theories formed. Some believed the tower belonged to a private experimenter who never registered their equipment properly. Others thought it might have been a malfunctioning transmitter creating unintended broadcasts. There were even ideas that weather conditions in the desert could have affected radio waves in strange ways, bouncing signals across long distances. While these explanations sounded reasonable, none of them were confirmed as the true source. The lack of evidence made the story feel darker because there was no final answer to close it. The most unsettling part of the legend is that the signals eventually stopped without explanation. There was no announcement saying the mystery was solved. One day, the broadcast simply disappeared. The tower, if it was responsible, returned to silence. Over time, people moved on, technology improved, and new communication systems replaced older ones. But the story remained in local memory, passed down through conversations and later shared online by those fascinated by unexplained events. The desert that once carried those signals still exists, quiet and vast, holding on to its past. When you think about the lost radio tower of Gila Bend today, it creates a strong visual image. You can picture a lonely structure standing under a glowing moon with long shadows stretching across the sand. You can imagine a small radio in a dark room suddenly filling with strange noise, the volume rising and falling without control. The idea of invisible waves traveling through the night sky adds to the mystery because radio signals cannot be seen. They move through the air silently, which makes them feel almost ghost-like. Even now, decades later, the unanswered questions keep the story alive. Was it a secret experiment, a technical accident, or something never documented? Why did the signals appear in that specific location, and why did they stop so suddenly? The absence of clear proof allows imagination to fill the gaps. And sometimes, the unknown can feel more powerful than a confirmed answer. The lost radio tower of Gila Bend remains one of those quiet mysteries that blend technology, history, and atmosphere into a single story. The desert still stands under the same wide sky, and at night it still becomes dark and silent. Somewhere in that silence, the memory of strange signals continues to create a chilling image, a hidden broadcast traveling across empty land, reminding us that even in modern times, some questions may never fully be solved.